Today we are going to talk about a tool called the signature loop. The tool is useful for understanding who should sign off on something. We all in our companies, we have different things that require signatures. Sometimes management has to approve something, or multiple managers have to approve something, or multiple departments have to approve something. And so we go around getting different people's signatures on things. Is there any value in doing that? Who should be in the signature loop and why? So to understand that question, let's ask for what value is it adding? One reason to be in the signature loop is because you add value. So that's a good reason to be in the signature loop, because you add value. Now, how do you know you add value? Well, the only way you would know you'd add value is if an adequate number of times you say no. You say, I don't agree with this. Because if all the times that something comes to your desk you sign it, then might as well not have come to your desk. So one test for if you're adding value is there a perspective you bring to that particular question that some number of times that perspective leads you to a different conclusion than the conclusion arrived at by others. If you don't get to a different conclusion, get out of the system. You're not adding any value. A lot of people think about that and say, yeah, that's right. But heck, if I wasn't there, then all sorts of crazy things could happen in the company. Well, then that's a different reason you are actually in the signature loop. You are in the signature loop for the second reason. I call it intimidation. You see, your argument is, my being in the signature loop causes people to be more careful, more discriminate about what items they bring to my desk for signature. And as a result, the very process of being in the loop does the work that I need done. They don't bring frivolous stuff to me. The frivolous stuff goes by the wayside because I'm in the loop. If I get myself out of the loop, you worry that frivolous stuff will be signed off. Well, and so what you're saying is, by being in the loop, you provide an adequate level of intimidation that keeps people from spending frivolously or doing stupid things. That's a pretty poor use of your time. Let me tell you how much easier way to do that. Put everything up on a bulletin board. Tell people, if you want to spend, go ahead and spend, but put it on the bulletin board. If you want to do something, go ahead and do it. Put it on the bulletin board. That's a much better way to intimidate people. It's much easier. Transparency can do the intimidation without you being there. There's a third reason people want to be on the signature loop, by the way. They don't like to admit it, but oftentimes it's ego. I need to approve this. I'm the boss. I need to approve this. It's misplaced ego. By being in the signature loop, you have just slowed the process down. Not only that, you have disempowered your people. Ask yourself this. If you were to tell your people, I suspect in your company, you sign for things, maybe expenses. Anytime somebody wants to spend money, they have to go to the manager, have the manager approve it. What would happen in your company if you said, you know what, anybody in the company, if you think the company should spend this money, spend. Spend. Just spend. If you think the company should spend this money, just spend. No signatures required. No authorizations needed. No approvals required. Just spend. Only one requirement. Just put it up on the bulletin board. I thought it wise to spend so much of company's money for such a thing. My name. Ask yourself, would people in your company actually spend frivolously? Ask yourself that question. The chances are they're not going to. They're not, because the judgment, the scrutiny by the entire company is far more powerful than the scrutiny in the privacy of your office. The scrutiny of the entire company is far more powerful. People are going to be very careful to spend exactly what is best for the company. And by the way, if somebody does spend frivolously, if somebody does say and puts it on the bulletin board, I thought it wise to spend companies $450 for a lazy boy chair in my office. Do you think the problem you have with this individual is that they spent $450 on a lazy boy chair? You think that's your problem? No, you've got a much bigger problem. You've got an individual that is either stupid or deviant. They're either stupid to know, or they're trying to get something kind of deviant, get something done. And you hope they're stupid, because the other one is more difficult to deal with. See, you have a bigger problem to deal with. And $450 was a simple way to reveal that issue. By and large, focus on being in the signature loop only when you really add value. Examine in your company, who is in the signature loop? How is that impacting the flow of business? And ask yourself, who needs to be in the signature loop? What value do they add?